to the Crowdfunding 101 mini-series. My name is Kate and I am a crowdfunding coach at StartSomeGood. Now, today's topic is all about promoting your campaign, designing an outreach and marketing strategy that is going to get your campaign out there in front of the right kinds of people who believe in the future that you're creating with your project. So, pre-planning your campaign's outreach strategy is going to help you maximize your success and minimize your stress levels as well. So ideally, you would start planning your campaign strategy months before you launch. If you don't have months, at least weeks before you launch, because being organized and having a plan is really the best way to reduce any mid-campaign panic. So I'm going to run through some examples of pre-campaign strategies, some campaign strategies you can use while you're live, and then post-campaign, what are some of the things that you can do. Now, if you're watching this video anywhere other than inside Crowdfunding 101, you're going to be missing out because there are some worksheets that accompany this video lesson. So you want to make sure that you get a hold of those to help you turn these tips and strategies into action. So if you're not already signed up, click the link below. It's free to join Crowdfunding 101. You might even like to join Launchpad, which is our group coaching program as well, to get even more ideas and feedback from our crowdfunding coaches, if that suits you. Particularly if you've got a large campaign goal, we highly recommend getting that personalized support. All right, so we're going to dive in now. What are some things that you can do pre-launch to start to warm up your audience and plan for a successful campaign? Okay, so number one is to call a team meeting. If you don't have a team, build a team. Recruit some volunteers, some friends or ambassadors, campaign cheerleaders who can surround you to give you the support you need to deliver a successful campaign. Because running a solo campaign can be pretty hard. If you've got a low goal, say under 10,000, chances are you can do it yourself. But if you've got a bigger goal, really recommend building your team and then getting that team together to brainstorm your promotional strategy. So identifying each team member's strengths, the networks you have access to, and what methods or channels you're going to use to reach your ideal donor. So remembering back to the lesson that we did around identifying the communities that connect with your story hooks, we did some donor profiling, getting a really clear idea of who that donor is, and then thinking about what channels you're going to use to reach them. It might be Facebook, it might be email, making sure you choose the channels that relate to what your organization uses, as well as what your donor uses. No point developing a Twitter strategy if your donor's not on Twitter. And then reaching out to potential partners, for example, media, community organizations, other people in your nonprofit network who can help spread the word about your campaign. And we recommend making this as easy as possible for them. So I like to suggest that campaigns create a little promo pack for any folks that you're asking to help you promote. And inside that promo pack would be some copy. So for example, a couple of paragraphs to pop in an email newsletter, maybe a couple of social media captions they can copy and paste using the correct hashtags, emojis, or whatever else your organization or campaign wants to use to really make sure that when people are posting on your behalf that they're getting the message well aligned. And it also makes it really easy for them to promote your campaign. Also pop some images in that promo pack, again, to make sure that the look and feel of your campaign is streamlined and making it easy for your supporters. I would also recommend to preview the campaign with some of your inner tribe, inner circle members. So send out your link to the people who are closest to you, friends, family, colleagues, and get some feedback on the campaign. Is it clear? Are the rewards looking good? Are they the kinds of things that your community would want? And that way, by involving your inner circle in what's essentially the development phase, got a bit more skin in the game. They're a bit more invested in your success. And particularly if they've given you feedback around a particular reward that they might want, then once you launch, the case is much stronger for them to jump in, donate on day one, and make sure that they grab that reward. So, moving on now to the mid campaign activities. So, I recommend keeping up the momentum with your campaign emails and social posts because consistency is key. Write to your current supporters is my number one tip. So, by about day three of your campaign, download your supporter list from inside Start Some Good, send everyone an email, thank them for being your first supporters. You know, that early money donations in the first 3 days are so important. So, make sure that you thank them for their contribution. And second of all, make sure you invite them to please share your campaign, reminding them that you need to hit your tipping point before any money changes hands, and really kind of rally them and invite them to be involved. Again, you can attach any images or text that you'd like them to use to make it easy for them to share the campaign on their socials or with their friends. Now, when it comes to social media, frequency and consistency are key to gaining awareness from your tribe and staying top of mind. So, organic reach on social is fairly low these days. So, I recommend that you use social to post 2 to 3 times a day. Even if engagement is fairly low, keep going. Don't worry about flooding your feed. It's only temporary. And I think people expect when you're in campaign mode to hear from you more regularly. Particularly when you have an inspiring social change message, chances are your posts are going to rise to the top of importance in their feed because you're not just flat out advertising at them, you're sharing your story. So, when it comes to social media, I do recommend mixing up your messaging with mixing up donate now messages where you're really overtly asking for support, maybe talking about specific rewards, and, and sprinkling those in along with messages that lead with stories and impact and content, whether it's something unique about how your idea came about. Maybe it's your founder story. Maybe it's something unique about how the products are made or how the service is going to be delivered, about your approach, the innovation. So really using the stories that you've identified in the story hook activity exercise to enable that to inform the content you're creating for social media. So even when you are leading with story and great content, do make sure that call to action is really clear at the end of your post or your message, inviting people to please donate, click the link in our profile or click the link below to pledge your support. Finally, with social media, we recommend doing some hashtag research to ensure that you're using hashtags that are going to enable you to connect with your ideal donors. So a 369 tactic is a good one to use. 3 hashtags that have over 1 million hits, 6 hashtags that have around in the 100,000s, and then 9 more niche hashtags that are relevant to your project or your niche area of influence. My next tip with your mid campaign strategy is to make sure it's easy for people to find you. So you're doing all this outreach, going out there to reach people. But what happens when people show up to your social media account? Can they find the link easily? If they show up to your website, if you have one, is it clear that you're now crowdfunding? Click here to donate. Is that button on your homepage above the fold where your donors can find it? Is your link in your email signature? Remembering that, if you're emailing people all the time, how wonderful to use that little piece of real estate at the bottom of your email signature to link to your campaign. And do utilize email overall because email is one of the most powerful marketing tools we have. Do try to use personalized emails where you're writing to people directly using their name. And then, of course, if you have, an email marketing tool, something like MailChimp, do use the customer first name when you write to them, again, to make it that bit more personal. And I reckon try and stick with a pretty regular frequency, emailing people a couple of times a week, just staying top of mind, leading with different stories that, diversify the messaging of your campaign, and always having that clear call to action. Okay, so moving on to post campaign activities now. Do make sure as soon as your campaign succeeds, download your supporter list from StartSomeGood, follow up with your donors, thank them for their support, and let them know that their pledges will soon be processed. And then just keep them in the loop with how you plan to fulfill rewards. You will likely need to send them a like Google form or survey to capture their address or their size or product type if there's some choice involved, and keep them updated as your project unfolds. Even if you're not able to deliver rewards for a couple of months after your campaign, that's fine. The key is just keeping your supporters in the loop. So that's it from me in terms of your campaign outreach planning. There are some worksheets below. Again, if you're watching this video anywhere other than inside one of our programs, do sign up because it's important that you get these worksheets to enable you to plan your outreach strategy. There's a whole lot more info, templates, including press release templates, campaign planners, to enable you to do your best to get organized and make the most of your time when your campaign is live.